Hello everyone and welcome. In this lesson we are going to show you how to create your AWS account if you do not already have one. So start off by going to aws.amazon.com/free. And on this page, if you would like to read more about the AWS free tier, Amazon offers many services in which you can get a certain amount of usage each month for free. There are other services where you'll get 12 months of free use. So you can scroll down this page and see the free tier offers that are non-expiring, and then you can scroll even further down and you'll see the AWS free tier offers that have a 12-month introductory period. And for our purposes, we'll see that Amazon S3 has a 12-month introductory period with a free storage usage of 5 gigabytes. So for the most part, everything in this course should fit within the free tier. So let's go ahead and get started and click Create a Free Account. And so we are presented with our sign up form. So go ahead and we will put in our email address, choose a secure password, and we will choose a name for our AWS account and hit continue. So now we need to fill out our contact information. You'll see the first thing it prompts for is to choose the account type, whether it's a professional or personal account. I'm just going to choose personal. There's really no difference that I know of on these two. So you'll need to put in a phone number for verification, your address, city and state, and you'll need to read and agree to the AWS Customer Service Agreement. So create account and continue. It does require a credit or debit card number in the event that you go over the free tier limits. So we'll go ahead and put that in. We'll click submit. And so the next thing it's going to do is it's going to want us to verify our account by calling us over our phone. And so the first thing I need to do here is I need to put in this CAPTCHA security code. And when I click call me, it is going to dial my phone.
This is an automated call from Amazon Web Services. Using the touchpad on your phone, please enter the 4-digit PIN number that was displayed on your screen. We have successfully verified your PIN. Please return to Amazon Web Services to complete your registration. Thank you for your interest in Amazon Web Services. Goodbye.
All right, so we have completed our verification. We'll click continue. We will now be presented with the option to select a support plan. For our purposes, we're going to choose the free plan. And so now we're ready to go ahead and sign into the console. So let's just enter the email address that we registered with. And enter our password. So we're now signed into the AWS Management Console. So the first thing that you might want to do, just for your own peace of mind, is if you go to My Billing Dashboard, we can set up a billing alert so that if your charges happen to go over the free tier, you can get an email alert to warn you of your costs. So I went to under your user, so S3 tutorial was our username, go to billing dashboard, then under billing dashboard, we'll go to budgets. We'll create a new budget and we will leave it as budget type cost. We'll say monthly budget for the name, it's monthly. Under budgeted amount, we will put $10, and you can change this to any amount that you desire for your notification threshold. We'll say notify me when the actual costs are greater than 90%. So when my budget goes over $9, I should get an email. I will put an email for the address that I want the notification to go to. And I will hit create. I see that my budget has been successfully created. And so we now have a budget notification set up. So now what we want to do under services in the search bar, type IAM, and we will go to the IAM dashboard. So IAM stands for Identity and Access Management. So under security status, you'll see there are a number of things with exclamation points that we need to take care of to secure our account. So the first one we have is activate MFA on your root account. So let's expand that, and we will say manage MFA. And we're going to choose to do MFA with a virtual MFA device. And if you're wondering what MFA stands for, it stands for multi-factor authentication. And so I'm going to hit next step. And this is telling us that in order to use MFA, we need to first install an AWS MFA compatible application on your smartphone, PC, or other device. We can see a list, if we click here, of all the supported options. And we'll see virtual MFA applications. So for Android, you can use Google Authenticator or Authy two-factor authentication. Same thing for iPhone as well. So I happen to have an Android phone, so I have Google Authenticator already installed. If you've never used Google Authenticator, you can get it from the App Store. Just search for Google Authenticator, install the app. So I'm going to switch back over to my IAM tab. I'm going to hit next step. And so now I'm presented with a QR code. So what you'll want to do is you will want to open Google Authenticator. And on your Google Authenticator screen, you will have a plus icon in the lower right-hand side. So if you tap that, it will give you the option to scan a barcode. And so just hold that up to your screen, and it will scan that code. And then you will have an option on your screen that should say Amazon Web Services root account MFA, and you'll see a number, a 6-digit number. And so I want to enter that first 6-digit number right there. And then the number should change on your smartphone screen. And once I have put in my 2 auth codes, I'll hit activate MFA, and it now says my device was successfully associated with your account. And so what this does is anytime that I log in with my root account, I will have to key in the code from Google Authenticator. So when you log in, it'll present you with an option to put in the Google Authenticator code, go to your Google Authenticator app, and the screen should show you that code, that 6-digit code. Just key that in and you'll be logged in. So if I refresh, I see that MFA is now active. So now it's asking me to create individual IAM users. So let's go ahead and choose Manage Users. I'm going to create a super admin user. I'll call AWS admin. And I'm going to give this user programmatic access, which allows them to use APIs and command line tools, as well as access to the AWS Management Console, which is the web interface. I'll choose a custom password and enter my password. I will uncheck that the user must create a password at next signup. And let's go on and hit the next button to go to permissions. So we'll see here, it presents us with the option to add a user to a group. So let's go ahead and create a group. This is a best practice. And we are going to create a group for our super admins. And this group will be for users who have access to all of the resources in our account. Now, as a best practice, you would want to create groups and users with the least amount of privileges needed. But for our purposes, we're going to give this group administrator access. So we will create group. So we make sure our super admins group is checked. We will hit next to review. So we see our username is AWS admin. It is in the super admins group. And so now let's click create user. So our user was created successfully. And now for later, since we will be using command line tools, go ahead and choose to download CSV. And you'll want to ensure that you save this credentials file somewhere safe so that you can access it later. You can also choose to show your secret access key. So your access key ID and your secret access key are what you would use from the command line to gain access to the services in your AWS account. So it is important to know that after you click close, you cannot download your credentials again, so please be sure and save those in a safe place. So we'll go ahead and click close. And let's go back to our IAM dashboard. And so we now see we have green checks on all but the last item, which is apply an IAM password policy. So let's expand this and let's create a password policy. So we'll see our minimum password length is set to 6, but we want to make this more secure. And so we're going to require at least one uppercase letter, one lowercase, and one number. And we will hit apply. And so we've now strengthened our password policy. If I go back to dashboard, and so you'll see now that we have all of our security steps checked off. We have our account created, it is secured. And so that completes this lesson. Stay tuned for more videos from Scale the Cloud.